Okay. We're giving it another shot. Changed a couple of things. I even watched a video specifically today that was about, hey, if your stream is dropping frames or being laggy, here are some things you can fiddle with and change. Checked all of that stuff. Looked at all of that stuff. Not even playing the game this time. Oh. And that's the thing that bothers me about this, or at least makes me wonder. So I am, for the most part, very happy with this device that I have chosen to be with at the moment. But what is the overall cost of change? This is what I mean by, like, I'm bad with talking about small things. Let's talk about something larger-ish. What is the cost of change? Personal change. Because, you know, once you find something that works, once you find something you're comfortable with, you create that comfort zone over time. Now, getting into that zone, of course, is not comfortable. It will always be somewhat new, somewhat interesting, but if you have to make the change by your own choice and you're not forced into it, I find those the most difficult times too. Before I got this computer, I had the choice. A lot of money to spend that I don't have much of, and no guarantee that it'll, quote, make its way back to me. So I went with what I know. I went with what I've been working with. I went with the limitations I had already experienced from another device of the same brand, this Apple computer. I, of course, changed and upped some of the things. It's got better RAM. It's got better memory. I've got a better memory setup. And I just saw we dropped 25 frames right there. But with all of that, with allowing myself to stay true to this, and all of these problems that are now popping up, I couldn't play 90% of the games that I've been playing so far on the old device. I can play them now, but if I can't stream them... Yo, wait, where are you getting that from? Gwar, have you been possessed by the Russian spammers? Holy hell. But yeah, I wonder about it. I want to make the most out of this. I want to be able to stream because I think doing it live is best. At least to me, I find it the most entertaining. But if I can't, and let's say we've made the wrong decision, where does that put us? Makes me feel terrible. Yo, oh my gosh. Oh, come on. The chat box should be on here. You've got to see what Gwar posted. That's funny. I wonder who those people are, or at least who those bots are. The ones that post all those mad links to all those other sites. Because you got to admit, if that was a way to make money, like you could set up a couple of those sites and then just have them somehow last year after year, time after time, that'd be pretty sick, you know? Sit back, have a bot farm do it for you. Maybe a couple of real people to get used to training the neural network you've got putting those comments out. You know, so most likely, no, but it does kind of feed into things that I want to do. I really do want to somewhat entertain, and I kind of want to do it through games and gaming, but I need some time at the very least to be able to build myself up to it, and I need to get much better at this whole, you know, presenting to no one. At the other jobs that I've had, I've always been presenting to people face to face. It's very easy to pick up and carry a conversation, especially when the conversation is they come to me, right? They would be coming into the store and asking for help, and I would be trained to provide that help, and I did it exceptionally well. But who in the world has ever come to me just for, outside of Guar, just for entertainment? Like, what is that per se? It's a very weird thing to wrap my head around. If I could make a product and then show that out like on stream, hey, let's build a game together, or hey, let's do a game jam, I'm showing you guys this, this, and this. That's something I think I could do. But just out on its own, it's funky. And then, best part is, once the game is done, once the creativity has been created, the product is out there. It can be monetized, it can be not be monetized, it can bring in more eyes. Once you get a certain critical mass, it carries itself, but it's just finding that mass and being able to support that mass that's the difficult part I'm wrapping my head around. But this is definitely part of it. How much of a part? You heard me. Yo, check this out. I was actually thinking about this earlier today. Have you ever tried to define what regret is? So I was thinking about it. I've been the reason it's weighing on my mind is I've been kind of forced into this position. I was talking about the choices that you had to make, and the choice to be streaming as much as I am, or at least considering streaming is something I'm going into. Programming skills, I'm really sharp. Really sharp. So I have a degree, I have 2 associate's degree, one in mobile tech, one in cloud tech. I can go through terminal and stuff, I can code up what I need to, but then when it comes into the deeper parts of it, you know, like optimization and such, oh, zero clue. Math heavy stuff, like I'd need to put a lot of work into that, and I've been trying to, but it's a little bit depressing to do, you know, overall. But just like concept wise, putting together large ideas, that's the easiest thing in the world for me. The more ideas, the easier it gets. Arranging stuff, ugh, come on. And if I make some widgets or code blocks that I can get in and then refactor, easy. Refactoring code, I love. Tying it together, making it more succinct, can do that. Ugh. But I was thinking, and this is just like obviously the beginning of the stream. This is the slowest part of the stream until we get into talking about actual subjects that I lined out. So online, if you'll let me ramble for a bit, regret is to say noun, a feeling of sadness, repentance, or disappointment over something that has happened or been done. I kind of view regret as the forfeiture of time between a perceived fault and the present. Let me talk about it for a half sec. The forfeiture of time. So often I hear people say, I regret this, that, I wish I could go back. So that means everything that you did after that little point of regret, you are forfeiting. If you go back, it's not like you go back, get to experience that thing in the better way, and then jump forward. It's not a commercial, I promise. Welcome, Miles. But if you go back and you change that one thing, that conscious choice of yours is basically forcing you along to now relive every other moment you could have had. Every good moment you could have had, every bad moment you could have had, every unknown you didn't know was there is now, right? And that's why I think regrets are so hard to deal with, because the further back you have a regret, the more difficult it is to say, I will gladly, willingly forfeit all of that time for some grand unknown. Do you have any regrets, actually? Like, legit, how much time would you be willing to forfeit? Because the sooner it happens, that's the easiest one. A minute ago, I stubbed my toe. I regret stubbing my toe. I want to go back. I bought this computer a day ago. I regret it. Give me the old one back. Let's keep the money. Now it's been what? A week and a ow. Fuck my neck. Oh, can't move too much. It's been a week and a half. I've put a lot of effort into making the streaming work. I rearranged the room. I redid the sound setup. I did a lot of research to just try to make this work at the way it is right now. Is it worth giving up that full week and a half? How far away until, no matter the weight of the regret, it's never worth going back to take it back, huh? And of course, obviously I'm starting just with the computer, but you can take that in any way, shape, or form. Mostly I like to think about it this way. To come to terms with it. The most helpful thing you can do with a regret is to come to terms with it. As much as you may wish to change the past, obviously they say, yeah, you can't change the past. It is what it is, you did what you did. Hearing that doesn't make it any easier though. But to have to go back through the past that was after the regret and find everything possibly good about it, worth going forward from, that doesn't erase the regret. Hey, good to see you, Amanda Saver. I'm doing okay. It may not erase the regret, but I would hope that it kind of lifts some of the weight of that regret off of you in the moments you're living right now. Oh, I'm actually going to take a little break here. I wish. Adrian, oh my gosh. I'm getting called by my dad. I'm going to put him on silent for a half a moment. Oh my gosh, were you the boxer? So, now that was the other thing though. You guys have seen that Spider-Man movie, right? The new one? Oh. In that Spider-Man movie, I find it so madly interesting because if I was in Doctor Strange's position of being able to change minds and open multiverses, I would have so few regrets because I would literally go back and change so much. My regret would be that I changed so much of my past to just see what's happening. Hell, I may cede some of the best moments of my life just to know it was on the other side of it. Honestly. Think about that. Right now, we have to find little ways to think about our lives, to work through them, to get to a comfortable place where we don't feel all of that mad weight. But if you have the power to change it, how wild would that be? How would you even feel about anything? Conversations you don't like, words you don't like. Snap your fingers, go a minute back, change it. No regrets is being at peace with the past. Not giving a shit is ignoring the present. Oh, I love that. I absolutely love that. Yo, Pixar is really nice. So can I tell you I've never actually seen Frozen? I don't regret not seeing Frozen. I've heard the songs, heard the soundtracks, had friends sing them at my face. Great music. I'll watch it sometime in the future. But Jacko. But legit, I actually like that. I'm gonna piggyback on Guar there for a second. There is a large difference between ignorance and acceptance. Yo, it's all good. I will watch it. Ignorance and acceptance. So, oh. I have not seen About Time. That's another, by the way, welcome. It's a very comfy, relaxed stream. Thank you so much for being. Say up as you will. And if you've got any recommendations or thoughts, speak them out in chat, because I'll respond to you. And I am still rather old-fashioned. I write things down still. I have a mad amount of sticky notes ready. Some people, or at least I would say many people in this day and age, find themselves supposedly making peace or being at peace, finding some sort of balance in their life, but a lot of it relies on a numbing, a deafening. Yo, I will. A numbing, a deafening of what's in front of them or what had been in the past. You know, and I can actually relate this to my body and what's been going wrong with it. Many times, or at least earlier when I was still getting chiropractic adjustments, I would be like, yo, I have this pain in my shoulder. Like up here, I got this pain. And I've been trying to like move my whole arm around and like mess with my back, but the pain in the shoulder won't go away. And my chiropractor would be like, okay, lay down. And he would like crack my hip opposite the shoulder. And then he would crack the shoulder itself. Hip to shoulder. And that would be the resolution to my issue. It would give me some relief there. If you ignore something and then try to focus on what's like the most skin deep issue, that skin deep regret, you might be missing the larger effects or the wider range of places that it can be affecting you. Why it's so hard to get up in the morning sometimes is because what happened maybe 2 or 3 days ago. You said, oh, forget that person. I don't really need to worry about them. When they may have said something that struck at you much harder than you thought, you know? We're not going to cleanse the world of this people because now, that's something we'll touch on in a moment, but let's actually go to that because it ties right in. If you get rid of those people that supposedly are causing all these issues and you completely ignore what's causing their issues, what systemically may be leading into their issues that you weren't aware of, what good have you done? For yourself, would you rather be ignorant to their experience, to their life, as they would be ignorant to your own? Or would you rather there be at least a chance to understand? Right? A lot of cleansing stuff. Only Sith deal in absolutes. Getting rid of something entirely is never one of the best ways to do it, unless you know it's malignant. That's a pretty good line right there, right? If something is malignant, like let's say, and I trust a good chiropractor, I've known the good and the bad, and I can give you some hints on how to tell the difference. If you take a moment to try to uncover what's going on beneath a person's surface, and you discover they truly are just a jerk, just a terrible person, just a blight on everything, at that point, I personally wouldn't be like, oh, we gotta save everyone. Oh, ow. I wouldn't be like, oh, we gotta save them all. Every single life is wonderful and precious. Surprisingly enough, I don't believe that. I truly do believe there are some things which just do deserve to be either cut out or cleansed out, but you gotta be very, very selective about it, right? Very, very selective about it. Because there's always going to be people who really like take Schadenfreude to the next 7 levels. They want to see you suffer and then they want to drink your tears. You can give them the time of day, you can try to find out, but don't let them take that out of you, take that away from you. That's just being willfully poisoned, and that can kill any type of wonderful thing. But to erase them without trying to hear them out for a moment, oh, that's a shot too far. Shot too far. I will shout out your test color sometime. Ooh, damn. I have nice-ish teeth. Thank you so much, Miles. I appreciate that. Oh. 1 second. I do need to have him in. Check right. I will actually be back to this in a moment. I need to check in to see if my dad left something on his desk. So, Guar, do some tap dancing. He's my mod. Holding this game. Be right back. Oh no. Oh no. Hey, bud. Bud. Hey, buddy. Buddy. What? What? I promise. I'm back. Woo! Thank you for waiting for a moment there. My dad's going to the airport, and he thought he left his computer charger at the house, and he did. I did. Oh, yo. So that's actually something we're going to get into in a little bit. I used a sprite to draw that picture. Bud. He has already been fed. He does not need any more food. He's just making noise to make noise. Plus, he just does that when I leave, like anytime. Although, yeah, no. He thinks we're going to play a little bit. We ain't playing right now. Oh. But, oh, okay. And of course I come back and we start dropping frames like mad. Let me know if we start getting into a slideshow type of situation. Oh, so before we move on, because I would like to talk about some game design stuff that came to mind, especially concerning Blizzard's new MMO, if anybody cares. Bad chiropractors versus good chiropractors. If you ever have a chiropractor who focuses specifically on cracking stuff in you, they are bad. Cracking is involved, yes, but they better tell you what they're cracking, what it connects to, and why they're cracking it helps you. If they can't do that, like step by step by step, or if they just say, okay, lay down no matter what. Are we really slideshowing? We were doing so well. Damn. Give me a moment. Let's see. I just want it to go well. I have an OnlyFans. Don't ask me about the cat. That's a joke. That's a joke. Here, maybe if I go away and get the cat, it'll stop framing up. Give me a sec. Ooh. Hey, buddy. Come here. Buddy, make my frames stop dropping, please, God. Hey. This is the cat. His name is Buddy. It's spelled B-U-D-D-I. Hey, bud. Hey, bud. Okay. And yo, so here's the thing. Bud is actually a rescue from down in Florida. I picked him up 5 years ago, about now, and he was one of the sickest cats that they had. Tiny little body, minuscule, wrapped up in towels all the time because he was very cold. But he grew, and he's got this long tail, mad tongue. Like the cat he's got such a size to him when you compare him with other cats, especially rescues. The man's amazing. I'm 5'10". That cat is like tenth of my size. I was about to say like a seventh, and I was gonna say, geez, he's not that large. My God. Have the it looks like our frames may have evened out a little bit. Hopefully the slideshow has stopped. Oh my gosh. Thank you for learning to tap dance in such a short amount of time, though. So, just for fun, I wanted to, we're gonna go to blizzard.com. Anybody here a fan of gaming or game design? Go ahead, raise your hand. I would love to see. Because otherwise, I might just pivot away from this section entirely. And... oh. By the way, just so you're aware, I'm using the Streamlabs deck and Streamlabs so I can actually see the chat on. Trying to get through OBS was mad difficult for me. Bam. Ideally it would be. And this part is just going to be like a little food for thought about it. In case anybody has heard, Blizzard is finally deciding to embark on a journey of making a new MMO. And here's the thing that really bothers me. If you look at this, it seems like your plain old press release. Yeah, they got some art. It's not really too informative overall. But they're talking about a survival game, saying every story needs a teller and world needs builders. When it comes to Blizzard, if anybody was a fan of their either games like World of Warcraft, StarCraft, any of those, well, here's the thing about it. Core of an MMO, regardless of the gameplay, which is a large part of it, it really does center around the writing for the gameplay. And I mean that as in, if you're sitting in your main city and you're just getting into the game, the first bits of text that you have to read, depending on how quickly you click away from them, depending on how quickly you ignore what's going through, that's how long the longevity of your game is really going to be. Because the hardcore fans are the ones who are going to be making the art that then builds the community, that then gets people wondering about all those characters. The hardcore fans who look into the lore are the ones who are going to be putting out the videos to talk about, to get seen by all the people who didn't give enough of it to look into it in the first place. Those core people, those core types of persons are really attracted to the writing that underpins everything, no matter how pretty it looks. They're going to be the ones specifically looking for cracks and specifically looking for a reason to pay attention to whether or not the game should last. All the things like with Blizzard, they tried Ashes of Creation. Amazon had New Worlds. As pretty as those games were and as fun as they were designed as player vehicles for interaction areas. So they said, make these areas kind of look cool, make the combat look fun-ish, and then drive them up to a place where they either want to buy stuff or try to group up to kill stuff. They didn't give any real thought to the story that carries it along. And Blizzard's, you could say, one of Blizzard's strengths has always been Pixar-esque, where they just want to make some cool videos. They just want to have some cool characters, and they achieve that stunningly well. That social interaction is a large base of it. One of the most fun times I ever had playing WoW was when I actually joined up in a raid guild. I raided a few times, but the guild had its own lore book for who played with who, and who founded what, and what group of people killed what boss, felled what raid, did what XYZ. It was actually so much fun. Because even if you weren't being part of the raids, you could always say, hey, I went on an instance with this person who was part of that raid who got this gear. Do you have that gear on? Do you mind if I see it? I was young, of course, but people still do it to this day, and I think, oh, the flexibility that they have and the inspiration that they got from the environment, from overall, that experience itself is what drives these. I bring this up is because when you look at what Blizzard's actually searching for, they're searching for engineers, they're searching for level designers, and they're searching for artists, right? Character concept, VFX, technical, senior, environment. They're not telling you, and they're not inviting you to be one of these storytellers. Those people supposedly are already set in stone. Blizzard just wants facelifters and mechanics. They don't actually want to tell a new story, at least so far. Now, given that Blizzard is already having its own internal issues, I wouldn't rely on the skeleton, the formation, the foundation that they already have. You know, it seems a little bit weird to try to go into a new direction with such old bones. So regardless of what comes through this, I really don't have much faith for it. Now, yeah, it'll happen, but I can't be untrue to myself, and hey, maybe doing the talking aspect is much easier than I thought. Because if all I have to do is like sit around, talk about nothing, well, I wasn't talking about nothing per se, but I was just talking about what was on my mind, and show Buddy every once in a while, might not be too bad. So, or like this could be something that nobody's viewing live, so it's not even really worth like cutting into its own little video. Because I'm not sure, just for you and me here, Guar, I've been thinking a lot about how to tie game design into the channel overall, whether it's like going through a jam and doing a sum up video, or doing stuff like this. Now this is not something that I will often do, but let's zoom in a little bit. This definitely is. Going through Reddit R game design, I'm just gonna take a couple of look at the first few posts and see what's up. But yeah, I definitely realized that I could do that. Hold on for a second. What the hell was that? One moment, one moment. Jesus. Yo, so React Court, I actually really like the idea on that one. And we'll do, there we are, limited screen face cam. See, now that was the thing though, especially after listening to NL today and like going over, because I've been trying to find on ways to be more entertaining. I don't know how he talks about the most benign stuff. Like, how the hell does he have so much to say about going to the grocery weekly, daily? That boggles my whole mind. I can talk about regrets and thoughts and like the psychological outlook, all of that stuff, but geez, holy crap, React Core, that's like some next level just how the hell is this so entertaining? But I did want to take a couple of looks at these. Like, how do I characterize my game? AAA companies you have respect for? No. Feedback on a trailer? Don't care, don't care. Let's take a look at this one because it seems kind of interesting. How to create and... Kind of interested in that. So, by the way, let me know. By the way, Guar, I'm bouncing this off of you for... I hope you don't mind. If this is interesting or if it's dragging, let me know because we can absolutely switch. I need to find what gets the views coming in, but more importantly, what's actually entertaining. So we're on our game design. Hopefully you can't see any of my personal information, but you can see what I'm commenting as. He says, how do I characterize my game? Is it an RPG? So, I'm making a game, trying to figure out, its genre, so I can be consciously designing and building it to be recognizable in its genre. I'm pretty sure it's an action RPG, but I would like to get opinions. It has an evolved backstory, but revealed incidentally through Easter eggs and ambiently throughout the game world. You don't have to pay particular attention to it to progress. Oh, damn it! Let's see. Let's do... Not that. Limited display. Let's crop. That would be cropping right by like 1, 2. 100. By like 1/8. No. 1/8. 0, 0. Well, bam. Good day. Good day, good sir. You lose. I defed it on that one. And now... Oh, plus, that's the other thing we're definitely going to do today. It's been about an hour up, weirdly enough. We're going to be doing some art in A-Sprite to fill in dark spots around the sides. So, so they're saying involved backstory incidentally through Easter eggs ambiently about the game world. You don't have to pay particular attention to it to progress. You do get special bonuses like equipments and buffs. You can complete some challenge that is related to the backstory. Real-time combat is the primary interaction. It's a shooter. You have You have stats like speed, mana, health, and these can be upgraded as your points XP do things like pass challenges to defeat enemies, not deep skill tree. So far, and I just want to point this one out. I've wondered about that, just like watching through and then pausing the video. I even tried to do that with the Pixel Pastiche. I'm not sure what even videos I would watch, but it is rather popular to do, picking up wise. Let's... do that in a half a sec. How Riot beat Blizzard. Oh! That's actually pretty sick. Where? Let's... Can I... I want to save that in like a... Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, anything and everything helps. I'll give him some of that. Quick note to this person. So far, I got into this a little bit with whole roguelike versus roguelite. Finding the difference between those two styles really depends on what matters. So often, games right now are just defined by the elements you're putting into them. And then you leave it up to the greater focus of your game when it's been made already, you know? So when they're saying stuff like primary interaction, not a deep skill tree, so far, because I know so little about the game, it means practically nothing. So far, they haven't really given me anything that says concretely whether it should or shouldn't be, nor a reason why it should or shouldn't be. Half of this feels like they shouldn't be worrying about it in the first place, right? And even when they say something like that, I'm trying to balance between upgrade and customize yourself, then that's something you should nail out first. Make your vision first, and then see what qualifiers you can attach to it going forward. Unless you're trying to specifically take elements from RPGs, like you're saying, I could see that being easy. Perpetual planning, never really jumping out of it. Like, even here, when they're saying weapons, abilities, and stat buffs are meant to be applied real time by the player, when they say applied in real time, a shooter that's happening in real time, shooter should be the first thing they worry about. All of the little unique touches they've got on there, that's cool and fine, but why are you characterizing RPG side of it when you've got a real-time shooter? Not even first person. We don't know if it's first person or not. We've got a real-time shooter first and foremost. Mechanically, hammer that out and then figure out the rest of it, right? Right, that's the other big thing. You'll see it all over the place. With this, if you're just thinking about the game, but you don't even have a paper version of it, if you don't have any prototype of it in any way, shape, or form, it will always be the hypothetical game. Guar, you put out a great point right there. The hypothetical games are the ones that will most likely never be made. Because whoever's looking at them, whoever's watching them, it's all in their head that they're seeing that. That's not going to really get anything out. Even starting to... right? You've got the mod out there. You've got Majesty Plus. God, I still love New Game Plus. Well, but you've put feet towards it at the very least. You've dug into the code and created something. Modding, which is one of the things I've thought about. Oh, wait. If you want to see, check out, I've got my... my ideas beyond ideas. At least from here, I can take some steps forward, but goddamn, until you put them into something. Ow. Well, even with that proper engine, I'll put it to that way. You can somewhat see how it might look though, right? Because even that, like, this is a conversation that I want to definitely bring up a little bit. We can put a pause on this thing. Thoughts first. Oh, damn! I can actually, I'm about to lay something out for you. If we have it, oh no, my words. Gameplay system. Definitive lens. Damn it, I don't have it. A while ago, I brought up the idea, or I brought up the concept of ideas versus thoughts. And I would like to say that a large amount of game design and what people have as ideas, quote, are more just thoughts. Thoughts are things that you can lay out and stack up, but they have no real form. They have no need to be expressed one way or another. I don't remember my specific definition, but an idea is something that has a requisite amount of points, which all require expression, relying on one another. For that instance, like when you say, yeah, but not on a proper engine, the fact that what you've got in mind needs that engine to be properly expressed, but can be improperly. A DMG on Steam. Nice. I will take a look at that. Not right now, but, well, I don't want to put your stuff up on stream, but I will look at that right after the stream. But yeah, if you've got those that have a form that kind of begs itself to be brought into, that's much more of an idea than many people will have. Many people will just have thoughts about things that are kind of related, sort of related, but that don't interlockingly rely on one another to bring forth an image, a product, a game. Ideas are so much stronger than we give them credit for. See, okay, gotcha. So then those might be more like notes, thoughts, and notes and thoughts are still crucial because you can form those into ideas. But if they're just on their own, then yeah, we'll take a look at that. So yeah, for this person, I would say, check it out. Focus on this phrase. It's a shooter, first and foremost. Everything else they're doing sounds like it's so far above the actual moment-to-moment shooting that it doesn't really matter. When they say even, for example, trade-offs between being able to dash, which uses mana, versus attacking, which uses mana, and freezing enemy takes mana, if this was math and you have and you had here, let's go to base game only. Dash mana, attack mana. Mana and mana always cancel out. Focus more on what the attack means and what the dash means. And then hammer out the mana afterwards. It's more of an addition than a core aspect, so you shouldn't really have to worry about it. Bam. How does one create a combat system for a character with super speed like that of the Flash? Okay, question. These are a lot of what you'll find on our game design and with many people. They're very, very broad, wide questions that are fun for like, hey, nothing practical per se, but if you had the unlimited resources, the only solution I can think of is giving the player some abilities like being able to dash and super speed with a cooldown, or maybe being able to enter super speed, slow down enemies. Ability you can use every once in a while, but the character was supposed to have super speed as a proper superpower. If you make a Flash game, you can't just lock his abilities behind a cooldown. Okay, so the issue that I have with this question, which is mostly what I'll say on this one, is what's the game? Technically, the Flash has already been in a game with Super Flash powers. It's called Injustice 1 and 2. That's been done. Technically, the Flash had his own game, which was called Sonic, every Sonic that's ever been made. When you really think about it. You think of the combat system, it could be as simple as he runs through people and things and destroys them because he moves so fast. For combat, he has to lock on, or he has to be going at a certain wavelength speed to be able to go through certain materials. What's the game? Right, like somebody says something like this, like Super Hot. Super Hot is Flash the game. Nothing in the world moves until you move. You could say he's vibrating so fast that everything is super slow until he moves at it. It could be a turn-based game. It could be, for whatever reason, a shooter, where technically the Flash is the bullet that you're shooting at people. It's a wide open question. Fun to think about, but overall, not really a great one. And then this one, just because whenever I see something that has a lot of comments and then 0 upvotes, I wonder about it. What type of oxygen system, oh God, my back, should I implement? An oxygen system is essential for any game with substantial aquatic environments. Okay, so a small reserve, a large reserve, and Subnautica below zero, O2 plants and such. Working on an FPS survival horror game where 50% of the time is spent submerged in water. The player would unlock various equipment to make diving easier. You can fight at mid-range without direct contact against aquatic ghosts, moving slowly like drifting boats. If they hit you hard, they will most likely deplete a little bit of O2 out of you. What option should I favor and for what reasons? Okay. Okay, so let's look at it this way. Instead of saying what option should you favor, well, now maybe not quite, because Guar is saying, well, definitely not the large reserve. In a case like this one, I would say, what is the purpose of oxygen in this game? Because I was having a good conversation about survival horror in some YouTube comments not too long ago, and I made the statement that the aspect of horror, especially in games, comes from the mechanical reliance that you have as the source of the horror. In a game like this one, if you're an FPS survival horror game and half of the time you're in water, is the purpose of the air to make you feel claustrophobic and cling for places that you know are safe? Or is the purpose of the air an indicator as to how well you have avoided the horrifying aspects of being submerged? Because for the large reserve, when they say it's a realistic take, it should last longer overall, but the only way to replenish O2 is to find a precious recharge station, like in Dead Space. In a case like that one, it could be the sense of like Left 4 Dead's safe rooms. That had like a beginning and an end of a level safe room. But what if you've got to explore an ever-changing, rather shifting location based on materials you get? But you can only go so far away, and then you have to make your way back. How much of the story is going to be pulling you away from this safe room, this safe space, with the promise of maybe there's another one that you uncover? Maybe digging into the story gets you another safe place, or maybe you're just diving deeper into danger. That could be like a very strong psychological aspect. You're abandoned, you're cold, you're underwater, and you cannot move because it's not your realm, but you have a place where you know it is, and you can erect these other places, but you don't know quite when they'll be there. If that's it, then the large reserve actually might not be too bad. But if it's something like the small reserve, where, like, let's say the FPS is really the focus of it, then if you're swimming around and you see other enemies that instead of those O2 plants from Subnautica, the enemies actually drop some air thing that you can use, then how can you engage with these enemies, these terrifying enemies that can give you resources to survive, but effectively without giving up your own resources? You get hit, you lose air. So now that's an interesting thing, because it does come up with, that's a good point. When they're bad at judging how long it'll last, they'll feel the frustration of running out of breath. Then that I would say brings up a wonderful indication of where your design focus should be. To me, that shouts level design and clarity of UX. Is the user experience and the design of the levels one that's labyrinthine and maze-like, which people get lost in and they get frustrated with because every hall looks exactly the same and oh damn, I thought I was going to get help but I wasn't? Or are there little markers that very clearly draw you back? And with that UX, Is it something that's just like the sound of the person's breathing that gets more labored? Or is it a clunky little icon that you see in the upper right-hand corner? Is it that you time it so that in-game, swimming across a certain type of distance takes up a certain amount of that indicator in the upper right-hand corner? And the machine that you put on that gives you the air specifically tells you this, like, it'll be X amount of breaths, quote unquote, X amount of time to get between here and here. That's an interesting one, because that depends on like the make of the game. Now that's the thing that I like about Subnautica, which you recommended to me, and I would love to play on stream. I would love to play period if I can find a way to. Subnautica's terror, I feel, actually, like when they say 30 seconds of O2 between closing down and all that stuff, Subnautica with the open water says that the horror is coming from that open water. It's from the creatures. Like I mentioned, you being in a world that is not your own, that you don't have free reign in. And the submersible itself is your quote-unquote safe space that isn't even that safe. When you go up against gargantuan creatures, they'll like latch onto the front that I've seen, or they'll knock your power out or something. It's the creatures and the environment of the world, I believe, much less the reliance on O2, that matters there. Half a second. I think my dad has just showed up, so I'm gonna put on the holding cam, but it shouldn't be too long. I'll be back in a sec, War. Here, let's just use the holding screen. Outside. Man, that is cold outside. Baby, that is cold outside. Here we go. Nope. Yeah, I could agree with that. Because Sarek didn't have enough Sarek. Oh, okay, yeah. So that is a wonderful way to think about it. The air right there is being just a progression gate where they're like, hey, do you have the capability to stay in the location that you are? Are you advanced enough to be able to safely enough go into this location and experience the game in a somewhat fun way? If they want to gate you from that and say that the air is just a way to keep you out of it, then yeah, that makes good sense. But with this person, Especially when it comes to something like this, when they say the player would unlock various equipment to make diving easier, I feel like it falls in with what you're saying, Guar, where it's a progression thing. And if the enemies that you're fighting against are still moving slowly like boats and hitting you to deplete little O2 out of you, it's almost like the O2 should be a direct representation of your health, if anything else. So in that case, I would say, forget the idea of the size of the reserve. How are you replenishing air is the better idea. Yo, oh God, I'm so glad you brought that up. Holy crap, wait, I'm gonna go to the holding screen. Well, I'm not sure if I should. This is exactly the conversation the argument at first that I got into on the trailer for Outlast 3. Will I get... So, okay, you know what, Guar, we're actually gonna try this, like, right now. I'm gonna see if I can bring this up, and then we're going to full screen on that, pause the music, and I want to see, can you hear this? Is it coming through? Okay, yeah, I've got to adjust the sound on the fly, but yeah, we can do. Well, I'm gonna do a little live react because I just think it's kind of fun here. When you say horror games shouldn't be combat focused, I believe that mechanical reliance that I was talking on, if the combat effectively mixes with the horror, and in my opinion, a lot of it is very, very dependent on the story and the way that everything is linked together, what type of horror you're trying to elicit from the game and how you're trying to work together, like the Resident Evil survival versus Resident Evil OG in terms of survival horror versus Resident Evil 4 in terms of action horror. To me, Resident Evil 4 is a much less horrifying game. It's got scares in it, yeah, but you're fighting back all the time. You are actively trying to encourage violence because violence gets you drops, which allows you to pick up more ammo, which allows you to get money, which allows you to buy better guns for more violence. To me, that's just not that horrifying. But something like the original Resident Evil, if you shoot at everything in that game, you will run out of bullets, and then you will just have to push the zombies away until they inevitably kill you, or you get to a boss that requires you to have bullets, and then you die. That's like survival horror. Resident Evil horror! Yo, I think there's a website for that. It's like it starts with an R, it has a 3, and some other number in it, but I heard that's a great game. So let's pull that up a little. Oh my God. Resident Evil Village is just a thirsty thirst, the game The Thirst. Jesus. Oh God. Wait. I'm waiting. Cause I do want to play this one. Okay, so this is Outlast 3. We're going to watch through this. It's a minute and 24, and then I just want to give a couple of my thoughts on it because we'll get to that. So, let's see.
I want you to know that you are safe. I'm your friend.
I'll tell you about that in a second.
Why did you come here?
I'll send you that one
To
easily.
make improvements. Wicked child. But your behavior. Don't fight the process. I'll learn you. We're all working to unlock your potential. You can't hide from me. Your new self. A better self. A productive member of society. Thank you for volunteering for the therapy.
Outlast 3.
We are all going to get better. Together.
So we see that, right? And let me take that. I'm taking the sound back down, so hopefully it does. So now here's the thing that I wanted to point out about it. Did you play Outlast 1 and 2? I managed to on my... Yeah, no, I managed to before. For me, what I really liked about Outlast 2 was the horror of the situation being the insignificance of the main character in the overarching story. Not in the main story. Yo, very fun games. If I can actually get them to work on Steam, I would do some horror game playthroughs. Oh, shit. Oh, my gosh. I'd be so... Yo, that might be... It's going on the list. It's going on the list. We are playing... I'm finding a way to play Outlast 1 and 2 on stream. Because they are... I really think they are wonderful, wonderful games and wonderful experiences. And without being too spoilery, the overall horror of those games is that it's drawn from the idea that the main character is rather insignificant in the overarching story. They just so happen to be in the right place at the right time to suffer. And worse than that, their job in each one of them is effectively to document the much greater suffering of all of these other people. And not only that, their documentation is what effectively keeps them alive. If the room is too dark, you have to bring up that camera to be able to see. And once you see into the dark, you see the depth of what you're just walking through, the aftermath of what's been there. And once that notices you and starts to drag you along with it, you can't fight back. You don't kill bosses. You can either run or hide. Those are your only two options. And all the while, you have to look. The worst part about it is by the end of each, the character has no voice. They're supposed to be our glimpse into all of this, but that insignificance gets revealed. Fatal Frame is the key one like that. The main character ends up revealing their own insignificance, and if somebody was to by chance find what you filmed, and you were to watch back what you filmed, the story, the idea, the truth of it all would be so masked behind quick cuts, horrifying sounds, garbled imagery. You as the player know the story. You as the character know the story. But in your record of it, that story is ultimately just lost to how terrible everything is. That's the horror of those games. Now, yes, there are the jump scares and the creepy looking people, but all of that is being used to elicit this response from the player. And I loved that. I loved that. This one, if we take a look, there's a reference to some camera work, right? Not here, but... Okay, go forward. Come on. Come on. God, where was it? Like right here. So we can see that we're looking through a camera of some sort. But like this. This is very clearly using the same type of camera that was in the other games. But the rest of it, though, in terms of the cooperative nature, the nature of the combat of like dropping a mine so that it blows up a guy who then has these red things go off, like that could be a boss fight of some sort. It teeters, and like a trap like this that is being like ripped out of you, or the bottle throwing. I see those little things. And part of me goes, well, it could be like the OGRE that I was mentioning before. Survival horror where you're staving off combat. You're not really trying to kill these creatures, but if one finds you, the idea of defense in these games is to avoid contact even when pursued. Conflict, even when pursued. You throw the bottle that pauses one of these guys so that you can then get away, or the glass might blind them for a bit so you can get away. I see that, and I think that the direction of the game, depending on how much they lean into it, could make or break it. It looks pretty good. The nature of the horror, the idea of being like experimented on, all very, very crucial horror things. But if I have to rely on those bottles, like if there comes a point where there's no way around it, time after time after time again, I need to throw the bottle to get around this guy, or that is the guy that I always have to, because he's around this door, I need to make a sound over here and then put a mine here so his eyes go red and then he runs himself into a wall. That starts to get a little bit too action-y for me. And not saying that we have any reason to believe that this is the way that the game is going to go, but I was putting out that worrying where they're like, the initial comment said, I love being able to fight back in a game. It adds to the horror. The Outlast series was not built on fighting back. So if it makes a shift to fighting back, actively getting in the face of these things, I think that might not be the best move. But clearly, in the way that these people are still being absolutely decimated, I don't think that we're going to be fighting back. So yeah, I wanted to bring that one up because it was exactly what we're talking about, what we were just talking about right there. Combat, if it's combat for combat's sake, you're going towards action horror, and I really think that diminishes it overall. But if you're going for like survival horror of it, where the mind doesn't kill the person, but it gives you the chance to get away, I can kind of get behind that. That's pretty sick. Let's hold for a second. Jump back. Oh my gosh. I still remember. I still have Amnesia. I don't remember who I am. No, Amnesia was oh my God, such a great game. And I did you see the GDC where they described basically that for the majority of Amnesia, the creature wasn't actually like there to kill the player? Or if you stayed in the dark for too long, they just insinuated that something bad might happen to you, but mechanically nothing happens other than a couple of filters going on it. Like the players scared themselves so much more than the actual game programming did. I love that. Amnesia is absolutely the GOAT. Holy hell. They're so good. That game is so good. Oh, damn. Okay, so yeah, for this person, and what gets to me is that people actually voted on this. I don't think they should be worrying about reserves. I think they should be talking about how is oxygen spent and how is oxygen recovered and what is the goal of having those two design decisions. Because a lot of the detail in this is missing as towards the point of it all. The inclusion of O2 plants, we don't even know if plants would fit in their environment, right? Like it's survival horror relies so much on the construction, dedicated, well thought out destruction that seeps into your conscience. Oh, we're hitting the comments. Oh, don't you worry, Gar. We're hitting the comments. So let's see what people say. The player has a large reserve that can partially replenish anywhere, like a small part, 5 to 10%, but can replenish more at stations. If you play this correctly and make stations hard to find, you can get the tension from both systems. For instance, the player may have to stay a lot underwater and consume all of the oxygen to get to a new area. I'd vote other. Yeah, damn, you're right. They are saying more large. Right? And that's the thing that gets me. Like, if you wanted to say, in terms of like, if it's an exploration game, then yeah, that's kind of fine. Like, that's interesting. But they've already said that about half of the game is spent submerged in water. So are they saying that's by choice? Like you got chased into the water? Or is it by level design? Right? Having to rely... I don't like that. To that very point, though. Then, this doesn't become... If they go with large... I like that point. Especially breaking the immersion. If they go with large, then they have to make sure that the dread is being properly conveyed. As to your other point, to not make it too frustrating of, well, I got all this oxygen, but I spent forever trying to find this one stupid place and nothing was really trying to kill me. And if I kill the enemies, then they don't give me any more air. That could easily be it. Now, that's the other thing. We haven't, in terms of the FPS, they've only mentioned that the player is fighting at mid-range without contact against aquatic ghosts. What happens when we're on land? Like, what is the Are we even on land? What's the surface? Thalassophobia. Yo, oh, give me a second. I'm so excited. Guar, you are going to love these. I don't know if you've seen them before. We're gonna do yo. Oh, but do you know this one? The Root Sandstorm, one of the best. These are those thalassophobic TikToks that if I could ever make a horror game, I would want to make it feel like this. So just where you're moving so slow. Right? Like crap like that. Where it just... These gigantic... Ah! Oh my gosh. Yo. Oh my god. I saw that one. I thought it was bad when it came at you, but when it comes up, oh my gosh. Like it's those Subnautica's gigantic gargantuan creatures. When it comes up out of nowhere. No, check this one out. I think this is the one because it captures the idea of stuff moving so much faster than you. Yeah. Where it goes down. Oh, God damn. Oh. And then these things. This brings me back to when I was younger, and you closed your eyes and thought you were gonna get attacked by sharks under the water. Oh, this is a Subnautica one, right? Shallows having to go into the deep. This is specifically Subnautica. Gosh. Yo, but see, at least I would like to say this is more with sharper teeth. Oh my gosh, at least on the other ones, you know, they get to do the, I'm getting all squeezed. It's so slimy in here. These ones, holy hell. But, oh gosh. That, like, when you watch the videos of people that do diving like that into just these open, dark holes, I could not imagine. And this one is just, I don't think this, oh God. Like, right, bad CG. Some of them. Oh, just the freakiness of it. I don't want it. Yo, you got to admit though, it's the feeling. Like check out those goofy eyes now. Tell me, if you legit saw this face underneath some creepy ass water just coming up at you, I don't care if it's bad CG. It's wigging me out a little bit. Holy hell. Oh gosh, we're gonna jump back for a sec. Bam and bam. Sea of Thieves did actually, when they had those creatures that you could fight, like the Kraken or the gigantic shark. Were there more? They were cartoony, but they were still really threatening. That, I feel like Sea of Thieves did a really good job of, or did an exceptional job of capturing the horror of it without going too horrifying. Ooh. But yeah, no, I loved some of those. Open water. Do you suffer from any, not suffer from, but do you have any thalassophobia? Because I do mean that, like, I didn't think about it too much, but at one point when I was like 12 or 13, I really did think about the idea of, well, what is it like to just put your foot down and then not have your foot ever stop, and like to be moving mad slow but watching all these other things dart around you. That stuff, it was the worst thing. Until I started thinking about it, it did not scare me much. I would be extremely uncomfortable. Like, the first part of that one where he's just out there and the sharks are around you, that is enough. Knowing the bottom is so far out, that's just enough. Yeah, like 4,000 feet off. Now, weirdly enough, so I would be not okay with the ocean. I would be okay with space, though. I would be more than okay with space. See, when it comes to being cast off in the space station, though, part of me is a little bit wondrous, because even the closest whatnot is 20 billion miles away. In the sea, in the ocean, stuff is meant to be out there. Like, if we come into a space world where there are space dragons and space fish and stuff like that can swim around and like attack me, I'll become a lot less cool with space. But I see the vastness idea of it. For me, it's more of the the vastness and what might reside in it. Yeah, no, I can see how the being lost entirely, never being found again. We're slightly aligned, but on very different. Oh, so yo, I always go off on this one. If you could be immortal, like full health immortal, not immortal like you age to the point of being 80 and then your bones are always terribly brittle, but you can't die. You can be immortal, and you're going to witness the end of the Earth and the explosion of the sun and everything. And for some untold number of millennia, you will be flying through space. Does that creep you out? Because it seems like it should. Being out in the vast nothingness. Personally, until I hit the point of like not having to think about anything, I don't really mind it, you know? It would be a little bit terrifying for a bit. But that's just it. You would lose your mind. But you would get to see kind of what losing your mind is like, right? Being able to experience infinity in such a way, and then knowing that overall it would kind of just be a wash by the end, that gives you the entire gamut of experience. And of course, yes, the loneliness, any amount of loneliness to that degree it ends unless you land on something somewhere. It ends with you just being nothing. Like that like speaking of JoJo's, and then who is it? Cars? You stop thinking at some point. Your existence just becomes this infinite nothingness. That's a little bit reassuring, I would say. Yo, leave it up to COVID to give you a glimpse into what that vast nothingness is, right? God damn. Oh my gosh. Too true, too true. Man. But if there's that 10 hun. How many zeros is that? 1, 2, 3, 6 zeros, which is 10 billion. Gam, give me some. What? 1,000. 1 million. Part of me, as much as I'd be terrified of it, and as much as I'd lose my mind to it, kind of wants to know what it would be like. You know? It's a morbid curiosity, I'd have to say, of just what are those limits? Just how far is it out there? Just at what point do you start feeling your mind slipping out of your soul? Sounds funky and sounds weird, but I mean it. Like, yeah, it's bad. But at what point does it get really bad? Put me in water? Far less, right? And there was that the idea of ignorance being bliss. There are some people who are so it's speaking of, on Reddit, somebody posted this, like, non-intelligent people, not saying that you have to be intelligent, I'm not saying it that, but like people with lower IQs literally can't like think about the future, or they can't associate with the concept of what the next time would be, or like what's not immediately in their present. The more that you're able to think about what might be or what could be, the more you can dread how long is this actually going to be going on? Is there ever an end? The faster you go down the crazy path of like losing your mind, of suffering depression, of really getting crushed under it. And I'm not even talking like you need to be a genius for it. Just like the more you think about it and the more you're able to conceive of it, the worse it is. Nearly exponentially, the worse it is. So yeah, that, oh my god, that's a very real argument nowadays. Ooh. By the way, I'm only pausing right now to keep an eye out on the frames because on the last streams, it was about an hour and a half where everything started dying. And, knock on wood, it looks like we're actually somewhat okay. God damn. So, well, let's see if anything else is interesting on this one before we pop on. It's been about an hour. Speaking of, it's been about an hour and a half. I do want to do some art. Where I looked at, just as a quick aside, I looked at the amount, because I haven't been drawing much due to my hands having some pain, but it's gotten somewhat better. I looked at the amount of safe for work drawings that I've done and the amount of not safe for work drawings that I've done, and they are, talk about a million times more. Holy crap, man. I have a drawer brimming. It does, yeah. It's been a bit, not even a new person has stopped by, but it's all good stuff to know, right? Plus, like, I wish for a second we could have polled those people and been like, how did you see this? Where did this pop up? Because now that it's been going on, they're like, hey, you're staying at 0. It's interesting. It's interesting. Grab them in the first couple of minutes and then just hold on to people for as long as possible. Start with the art, end on Reddit. Start with a cat. That's all I have to do. Start with a cat, talk about philosophy for a little bit, go into art, end on Reddit. But I got a scanner, and I wanted to scan in some art to be able to like trace over with my Pixel stuff. And I'm not, because nobody's watching, even if they come through the VOD, I want to see if there's any of this that I can actually show on stream, damn it. Hey, cat cam, dog cam, cat cam, 16 monitors, 5 mics. Yo, oh shit. Whoo, fuck, crack myself up sometimes. So yeah, I got, I'm gonna keep it in, I gotta share these 2 with you. Please, don't take it seriously. Ooh. Ooh, is it, So when you phrase it that way, I'm thinking about tight spandex and whatnot. By the way, I just got to share, because maybe having not an OnlyFans, but like an NSFW Patreon wouldn't be too bad. Check out these mouths, man. Look at that. I'm weirdly proud of the way that those were able to turn out. And I just could freehand them. This was like from 3 months ago. Sorry, but are these not just great? And I didn't even trace those. God damn. Okay. You're really gonna bonk me for this one. Wait. God, cover. This is a joke. But those are like the 2. Those are the 2 most safe for work things I can show on screen. And at that point, I realized my artistic horizons are absolutely screwed, beyond recognition. Oh my god. But yeah, give me a moment. Let's jump into A Sprite and have a little fun with family friendly art and such. Bam. So, I don't really have anything to trace. Oh, and let's bring the music back so it's not just me rambling here. Give it some ambiance. Well, let's state we can make some small people, 32 by 32. We're gonna G this, give a background, give a new layer, find that, and so when working in 32 by 32, I'm trying to remember what I learned from my Udemy class. Normally you wouldn't want to block out a shadow of your characters. You would want to start mainly with colors because you're losing so much in terms of space. But I think we can try to, not you, go down, go a bit by bit by bit by bit. Well, let me ask you, Guar, what type of character do you think we should make today? Are we looking for a person or a creature? Man, woman? Because I've been out of practice for a bit on my pixel art, and I've been wanting to get back in, but a lot of my fundamentals, because I haven't been practicing day over day, have been a bit lost. Take away all these harsh edges. Bam. Bam. Nope. Give me that one back. Give him a little bit of shoulder. Bam. 4 is too much. Let's give him a 3. Okay. So then we'll start with a little big head person here. Not that. And we're gonna make a little animation then. So check this out. So since he's actually going to be facing forward, stop that. Put that here. Ooh, a dancing lobster? Let's do it. And for this, actually, hold that for a second. Lobster. Image. And bam. I had to pick myself up Ooh, let's make sure I don't have anything in my downloads that could be bad. Gotcha. Okay, so I picked myself up 2 images of lobsters to use as reference. And because we know we've got to break them down so much, I always kind of find it nice if we just use this one. If we're gonna make him dance, I feel like this is kind of a good look, and then we can make his claws like go up and down, and his whiskers do some stuff. Stop. So the most important stuff, I'll save that link in a moment, are whiskers. There are 2 big whiskers, a little mouth whiskery thing, and the mouth whiskery thing really is very, very fine when being looked at from the front, but the big whiskers still seem to last. Huh. Oh, damn. Oh my god, this is actually fantastic. If you ever wonder about... Okay. Oh. Yo, Guar, thank you so much for that. Let's actually do this. Let's actually do that. I was just thinking about that. The claws are going to go up, and I want, instead of having their stuff hanging down, because this is a party lobster, from like right there. Look at this little girl's face. Damn, she is so not having it. Get with the party though, please. We have 2 keyframes, and then like there's this little one in between, which he then goes back up to. Okay. That was actually mad helpful. It is a bit sad when you frame it. Oh, jeez. Holy shit. Yo, you got a point, you know? But there's always got to be, the movie's always got to come to the end at a point. Or not, well, there's always got to be the nadir of a movie, the low point. So let's try to translate all this through. Because that's something that we've got. Let's see if we can't get something like that. A little bit more uplifting. Let's see. Oh, I'm using an eraser. Sorry, give me the brush. You're drawing with it. Stop it. And that was the one thing. So, if you don't mind me asking, while I'm going through this, I was lucky enough to find Lo-Fi Girl and her actual page, which is full of all of these songs that are this isn't even more uplifting. It's all of these songs that are royalty free. But the vibe is very, I wanted something chill, but this is like, I don't want something that drags, you know? What do you think of the music choice? Because the other option is we just try to make some, I just try to make some myself. I'm not sure how successful that might be. The claws really do come in the way. So then I want ours to be up and back. The claws will be out of the way. And the claws are kind of just those big things. So, if it's going to be down... Yeah, the philosophical talk. I could rock with that easy. That was one of the reasons why I started with it. It just felt to be the right type of vibe altogether. By the way, did you mind that? It just would kind of happen to come to mind at the moment. But if I came prepared with not with a script, but like with a number of points to kind of go over. Not all the time. I'm gonna do a stream like this like once a week, but it would be fun to have a little talk thought at the beginning, kind of like that. So I'm thinking, with our guy who's 32, we don't have much space to work with. But come on, go back down to 1. Go back down to 1. If I was to block it out, could put him in the middle? Or like have him face off like that way. Yeah. So I make these are like the little fins that he's standing up on. Stop. And then these. Now we don't need much. Stop. And then it's like this next part could be his actual... Loving the deep shit. Okay. I happen to admit I do myself as well, so I am all in then. It needs to come up to like here. And I'll click on that in a moment. Stop. And then up here is like where that's too high. This is where we would see like his faces stuff. And we get them eyes like that. Eyes like that. Stop. Stop. 2, 1. And up 2. And then that's like the edge of his head. Whew. More lo-fi? By the way, I remember you've got wonderful music little recommendations. Stop. Stop right there, criminal scum. Let's check out what's up. I don't know if I can actually play these on stream though. Well, do they have, let's see what the inspiration, Roxana, listen now, Spotify, collection of music, phase, the artists, partnership with creators. Yeah. For something like that, is it the creator safe collection? Where does it say this? Am I losing my mind? I hate so much. Yo, Guar, why are you the best? Man, I looked in the description, but I zoomed straight past it. Gosh. I'm halfway blind. I'm wearing contacts. I don't even know. I don't even know where I am right now. Who are you? Get off my lawn. I'm so in. Thank you. He looks more like a bug right now, but that's just because we're blocking it out. And then here comes the difficult-ish part. You know, I saw the creator safe right there, and then, bam, partnership right there. Delicious. Thank you. See, something like this is nice and more upbeat. So this is like when we're talking about the philosophical stuff, it can be like the lo-fi girl more like. But then we're doing art, this fits a lot better. Mad appreciation. Okay. And I know it's gonna be rough, so on this next layer, that the ones in front is the one where we're actually gonna be moving his arms. So let's take a look. That's you're like oh, just like that. Oh, fuck. There's like this nub of the arm first. And that's how we're actually going to be able to see what's what. So let's give ourselves like a little box that comes out to the side here. And it's really going to come out from there. Bam. Little Chunky. Newest rapper of this age, Lil Chunky. Watch out for him. 4. Oh. Is this Royce and Murphy? We can hear people in the back. Damn. A second. And then the actual claws will be like these all click for. Like here. Eagle looks like a goddamn mantis. And here. Lil Funky. And then we come to the most difficult part. Yo. She says Sagava. Damn. Blue Scholars is like overall criminally underrated, criminally underknown, but in Seattle they're mad. I'm glad you were able to take them. They deserve to be shared. Plus, I'm glad you're enjoying them too. I haven't actually kept up on their latest release past Cinematropolis, which was years ago. Have they come out with anything recently, or have you been sharing the old stuff? Anything is good. And we got 2 off. We've got one that's like together. Oh. Damn, I don't want to get copyright struck, but I was listening to a very, very different vibe of music earlier, which was the song Hocus Pocus by the band Focus. It's one of their, it's a very, very like fast, raucous song, but the original recording is not. They did this live TV show, and it has the best recording of it I've ever seen. So if you're in for something mad upbeat, we gotta make uneven ones here. It's so. Have you heard the one that they did live where that woman introduces them? Musically, this is one of the most together and interesting bands we have to date. Welcome, Focus. Absolutely love that song. Okay. Now the struggle occurs. So, all my keys are gone. We need a frame, and then we need let's just make a new layer. New layer on top. It's gonna be right. And it's one of those things that it's almost like the track itself, I don't think it doesn't sound like it should exist per se. But it's just undeniably catchy. You're like, what the hell is this? What's going on? We need more of a deep red for this thing. Don't mind about that. And plus, the fact that they were doing music like that back in the 70s, like I always have to remind myself, it's mad prog rock that's going on right there. Undeniably. So those fills, the guitar shredding that's happening, years out of its time. Half a sec. So they've got all those little legs, right? We don't need all them damn legs, but we just need that pattern. Oh. I may be tackling something that is out of my artistic range at the moment, but I do not care. It's the fact that I'm attempting it that matters. And that's the way many things can be in life, you know? I can't help it. So, the other thing that we're going to do is, in order to differentiate between the joints... Actually, here, wait. Bring me back to this one. Gosh. I hate this about A-Sprite. That little thing will go away if you mouse off of it too quickly. In order to get some nice darkening, we take the hue down, we up the saturation, and lower the value until it's visually distinct. Like that. That gives us one gradient down, and then we do it a second time to give us the next gradient down. How many of those things were there? 8? Mr. Bungle, huh? And now, was Mr. Bungle a precursor to them? Or like one of their contemporaries. I'm writing that down. Because it has been a little bit of a dearth of interesting music at the moment that I find myself dealing with. Oh my god, a basketball is the actual sound of it. Okay, so that's the little thing. And then we put another one on this side. I think I can fit 8 of these. I think I can fit 8 of these, yep. They're like little they're like little pasties, don't mind. Stop. 1, 2, 1, 2. That's there. 1, 2, 2. That's there. Go 1, 2. I can't fit 8, but you know what? It's good enough. We're going for the spirit of the lobster. We don't need to have the anatomical correctness. Those little spaces in. For the moment, I won't put those little spaces in. They seem to be too light. But thanks for the word on that. Now, out of focus, I remember seeing that the main guy was the one who really ended up like continuing to tour. He got really kind of hefty and goes on jazz odysseys with that flute before trying to play the song. I don't know what happened to the rest of the band, but I know that the guitarist had a wonderful experience with some famous classical guitarist who he got to play with, and they recorded either like an album or a session set that was really, that was some sick stuff. How do we... Here, we'll do it this way. Stop. Go. We'll do it this way. We'll do it this way. We'll actually like fill this in, and you guys can just be on the side. And that's all we need of the... That's all we really need of the head. Because the rest is going to be filled in with like this lighter white whatnot. Right? Speaking of, now that we've got that kind of down, get out of the way. That's the first one. That's the last one. This is the second one. So I got kind of an idea. We're going to use the slightly darker. Check this out. Check this out. We're going to use the darko, and we're going to actually keep it at that value and that saturation. Just going to drop this way down. We're going to get the saturation up a little bit more. And we're going to use this darkest one to kind of fill in here and give a little chunk of space. It's going to be dedicated to like the shoulders of it. We'll chop this up in a little bit, and then we'll use the slightly lighter one to fill in right beneath his eyes and his head. gonna end up getting rid of those ones on the sides in the same way that you would like make a cast and then break away the edges. That's what we're gonna do here. Now hopefully it works. And I say, screw that. Stop. Those little things can go. Okay, and then if we take that away. Ooh! Ooh! Kung. How do you even. Chevroby. Kung Fu Chevroby. Igor. Ooh, ooh, nice. B. I will listen to that one well and well. Kung Fu Chevrolet. Now, okay, is because I know the name Igor is a more recent artist, right? Is anybody still doing like that? Not psychedelic, but that like prog-ish driving music anymore? And then, oops. Oops. What happened? Not by Igor? Not by Kung Fu. Gotcha. Well, I can't exactly imagine that too many other people would claim that song name. So if I type it in, it'll come up. Let's not worry about that too much right now. And then we'll just, no. Let's give you contiguous. That. Let's give you these darker. 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 Oh, with the yeah. Yeah. Kung Fu Chevrolet. Bam. Thank you. There we go. Whoop, stop. Gotcha. And then, okay. So now we need to, not you. So what I mean by that is, well, let's see, what do I mean by that? The feeling and the tonality that you find within a song like Hocus Pocus is one that seems to be the band forming different engines for the song itself. Like when they have that, the band itself is like establishing this overall forward drive, and the drums are the engine that with that the cymbals on that kind of just driving the band forward. So as the band uses the drums as that like engine, they can put in the almost like somebody would be either turning or braking. Those are like the screeches that come off the tires. And then the the guitar kind of takes off and does its own little thing out even in front of the already driving back. So then the organ takes in as it's almost like the second engine. It's the engine on top of the other engine. And then finally, not the way they need a drum solo every time, but when they hit those little intermissions with either the yodeling or the flute playing, there's this nice little lightening of everything that then starts to ramp the tension back towards the actual song going forward. I mean it much more in terms of like the general feel. Like, who else is somebody that even does that is my issue. I want to give you more examples, but my mind is blanking out. I feel like I need to start studying music more, because I find myself talking about shit like this like I know what I'm talking about. I know the feel of what I'm talking about, but I don't actually know the technical definitions for it. But it's something that type of construction of song where the band relies on certain aspects of it, certain aspects of the instrument and instrumentation to drive themselves forward. I'm rambling a little bit, but that's kind of what I mean by it. It's a smallish ensemble, like that one. Bass, drums, guitar, and flute/organ. Or something like it was a song in Rock Band. Oh, god damn it. And it starts out with something that's rather the same. It's got this organ that's playing this interesting, and then the rest of the band comes in and damn it. Or like, ooh. So it's a slightly different one. Do you know the song 3s and 7s by Queens of the Stone Age? Because I just did a lot of feeling to word vomit at you, but this would be a slightly musical reference. So that type of musical construction, where if you listen to the engine of that song is the actual guitar. If I can remember it, I will. Damn. And I'm bad with names and song names. But 3s and 7s is one I'll never forget because it just does it so well. Where the engine of the song is the guitar and the bass together. That and then oh my god, that song makes me so damn happy. Gosh. It's like, but the progression of the instrumentation, the way that works, because the lead guitar comes in on top of it as like something that was layered on top of that driving engine, which already has a lot of personality to itself. I was looking into like how do you do a karaoke stream on YouTube, and the answer is you do it and then you never save the stream, because they do get copyright struck. Like anything that even remotely sounds like the original song gets you struck down and claimed, and the music police come to your house. It's so upsetting. But oh god. I found the reason I've been thinking about music so much, I found myself singing so much more than I ever was before. And now that like I've been taking some stuff to relieve a lot of the tension, I can laugh like I used to, even though I'm not as much. I can kind of sing like I used to, even though I'm not as much. So, okay. Let's... By the way, this is the saddest looking lobster ever seen this side of the universe. Guar, I apologize. See, like that. We want... this to be kind of a continuation, where it's a little bit lighter, right? And then this kind of fills out there. It doesn't even look like a... But that... Yo! Oh, wait. The absolute classic. Oh, wait. Hold for a sec. Hold, archers! Hold! And I love it because I have this song. This is basically me when the YouTube music please come. Oh, absolutely.
Okay. I know these look like computers.
They're not.
Totally.
Totally not. Oh my god. The absolute classic. Oh, come on. Just let me type in chat. Damn, the core purge. Moet Chess Dreamer. Holy crap, that's such a funny. And I've never seen the movie it's with before, but you've seen the video before though, right? Oh my god, it's so good. Now I do want to do a little bit of a sad shout out to a time long since past. 4chan sucks nowadays. I mean, B was always bad. B was never good. But B was never terrible. Oh my god. I cannot stand the site anymore. That said, I visit all the time, but it's like I don't comment in threads anymore. Hey! What's up, Cynthia? Nice to see you. Here, and I'll drop the music back on. How you doing today? We are just trying to animate a lobster dancing, and it's a very sad lobster at the moment because I'm working in 32 by 32. Guar, have you seen the core? Well, I assume yes, but that is the only scene that I have ever witnessed from it, and that is the only context I've ever seen the scene in. Oof. Stop. So my thought is... Dang, that's rough. So, I call this one mad, sad-ass lobster. Stop it. Oh, gosh. I would like to apologize to the majority of lobster kind for this representation of you and your species. I promise it was just an artistic interpretation. I didn't mean for it to go so wrong. Oh, like entertainingly funny bad. See, they have a charm all to themselves, which is also, I love the fact that the guy in that scene looks so much like Yandere Dev. I thought it was a direct reference. It was more of a coincidence. Don't look at him. Look what they did to my poor boy. Stop that, actually, this. Oh my god, my job is not in art, but I did used to do, one of the reasons that I have this name is I used to be much better in pixel art, and my skills fell away as soon as I started getting these like shooting pains in my hands. I've been working with doctors about that, and finally I've kind of loosened back up, so I'm trying to get back into it. But a lot of my artistic senses have just absolutely deteriorated, and I would like to start to get back into that, you know? So you gotta start embarrassing, you gotta start small, and Guar said, yo, try to make a dancing lobster today. And I thought, may as well. But normally, if this was something real, I would do work in more like 150 by 200. I rarely ever do something small like 16:16, 32:32, and this canvas is 32:32. So, speaking of, it's broken up into these two different parts with that as a guide. We're going to move into the animation phase, where, bit by bit, we're gonna try to make his, also don't mind, this will happen from time to time when I have to move. You may hear me crack a bunch and say, I promise I'm good. We're gonna try to make his arms, his claws, from here come up, and I was thinking like up to the side, and then up, and then they'll go back down, and then we'll just mirror it over to the other side as well. So ambitious. And there's the other thing. He's facing towards us, so I was hoping to get like lighter colors underneath to show his underside, but that didn't really turn out the best. Speaking of, actually, right quick, we could do something like this and that, but take these as like a highlight. So when his hands go up to the side, we can kind of tell. And we start from this. Scared another. There we are. So, when I think about it, I think the easiest way to do any of that is to take this, and then we can I want to rotate it, but I forget how to. Oh yeah, but now that they're gone, as I was saying before, 4chan just sucks. Gosh, I don't know what has happened, but I really think like it's not Canvas. There's a very different need that people have. When I was on 4chan, it was about the anonymity itself and the fact that no matter what, other way, no matter what, if you couldn't cope with the idea that somebody could be deliberately off-putting to you and you required yourself to be off-putting back just to exist, then you just didn't stay on the site. So by the very nature, the highly offensive words that got used, it was all just for weeding out and kind of like evening out everybody. Not necessarily is your skin thick enough, but is your skin non-stick enough to realize what should stick and what shouldn't. And that was really kind of fun, you know? Yes, it's offensive, but like that was part and parcel the point of it. And it's not like anybody thought too hard about it. It was emergent. It just was. The very crux of the site itself, meaning everything here is a work of fiction. Anyone who believes otherwise is a fool. Something to that effect. Nothing there was real, but it was so drawn from real experience. It was so decidedly made by real people that they forced it to have its own fakeness that mattered. A fakeness that mattered is the best way to kind of describe what 4chan was. But that kind of got stripped away. Like, any poll's a goal, if you've seen the Internet Historian video about that. Taking the lulz out into the real world for a moment was almost always possible. Not necessarily by choice, but if you agreed enough to feel like you personally had a right in it, then so did everybody else on the site. And thus, a weirdly democratic system was formed time and time again. And if you didn't participate in it because you had the name anonymous, you did. Whether you liked it or not, anything that was linked to them was linked to you. So it had this mad, weird sense of pride, you know? Nowadays, though, after the Anonymous Hacker 4chan became something mainstream, became real, it started to just go mad downhill. People actually go there nowadays to legitimately vent and expect to be heard. Not only heard, but well on replied to. How stupid is that? How pointless is that? That's really kind of sad. But can you blame them? They probably have heard so much about it and everything that it once was. Kind of do rote sprite like that way. That now it really is something. And that's kind of robbed it of everything it was supposed to be. The ads that are up there, the legitimate effort people put into banners because they got monetary reward from it. Damn, this thing really does not rotate well. People used to make those old B and V videos, intersections between boards, cross-pollination wars, because it mattered so little. Because they expected nobody to actually see it except for those who were there. That's what made it special, right? But nowadays, it's not like there's anything even special to be had from it. Oh shit, I've been working on the front. I haven't been working on the one I wanted. Right? Wait, which one are we on? I have been, never mind. Go forward. And that's a little depressing to me. But you gotta admit, on a site that regulates itself merely by who's posting where, that's what gets something to the front page, quote unquote. Redo. Why a bunch of those? Does somebody care enough to right now give their imaginary words like they matter? Because the next second that somebody's actually looking at the front page, you just might see a new thread. In fact, you'll always see one. Accumulated points mean nothing if it gets sage bombed. God, I'm rambling. Yo, have fun with Warzone, man. Thank you for sticking around for a bit. I am just off in a different world. Thank you. Check the VOD, you'll see the result by the end. Okay. She did. I didn't even notice that. Yo! Oh my gosh. Guar, do you think I should, with these talk streams, do you think I could do that. I could set up a little lectern and I could give liturgy of the philosophical. God damn. Thank you for bringing that up. I didn't even notice. Forget the art. I'm just gonna sit my cat next to me. I'm gonna sit behind a lectern. I'm gonna put on a robe and just start talking about stuff in the world. By the way. And then gosh, I actually passed her. Ooh, I like that. Very subtle. Oh my gosh. So, ow. I can't clap like that. It's like this delayed pain. I hate it so much. So, check it out. Before you go, here's my idea. I'm gonna actually do a quick switch around. I'm gonna angle the mic so hopefully it can pick me up a little bit. And I wanna show you a variable camera angle. That I tried. Now I couldn't get the lighting to work. But in terms of like trying to do art, damn, I just wanted to show up. If I did some art like this out here and get proper lighting, and then import it into A Sprite, and I made like an angel woman. Yeah, good lighting would be the best. But just give a half a second. See if you can tell what I'm drawing right quick. Does it show up well? Gosh, don't mind me. Yeah, I'll get some better lighting on that. And I was thinking of doing those two together. Don't judge me. You saw how fast that came out though, right? Mad fast. Enjoy your war zone. Let's see. So, peace. See yous. Where did I just see that? There we are. Then this comes back over here. We see, we V. One moment, please. The cap seems to have gone someplace. And the light will no longer turn off. Oh gosh. There we are. I close my blinds. Now, the other thing that we just have to do is take this one and we paste it all the way through. Every single one gets filled. Right? Right? Look at him dance! Look at him dance! So, weirdly enough, Guard just left and we actually made the little lobster dance. Now, what would be better for the dance? Or what would be better for him being like a lobster? Having some visible hands in here, having longer or more defined face, but something really simple that we can do, stop that, is put a new layer up and use something like a gray along with this. So we see that his arms come up and and then they stay there. And then we do this little interesting thing where stop. They do that, and then they return. And this one I'll actually do just with the, I don't want to click with the mouse. Now when he goes to this side, because he's facing out more to the outside, we started in the corner. Actually only going to hang over here for a second before wait, so it's down, over, up, down, up, up. Oh, and then we need one more. That's fine, actually. One more of these. V. We pull it out. There we are, right? And because we're out there, he's gonna have only one in the middle. And then instead of that, we're gonna have this. Check it out. Check it out. And we see it looks kind of funky up here, but if you could back away a little bit, it don't look half bad. Now, here's where I actually do remember a lot of what I liked to do. So check it out. Every single one of these frames is going by for 100 milliseconds. And mathematically, as long as any 2 frames or any 3 frames kind of average out to around that 100 to 120 milliseconds, they become rather smooth. So I'm going to take this frame and this, come on, this frame and this frame and this frame and this frame and that frame and that frame. I'm gonna hit P and I'm gonna change those down to 70 milliseconds. And then I'm gonna take this one and this one and this one and this one. I'm gonna hit P. I'm gonna change those down to 40 milliseconds. That looks terrible. That still looks terrible. What happened? What happened with my timing? Oh, it's really this. That's why. Okay. Then on this last one, we're actually going to make you like 150. Be 90. Up. You're 70. P. You'll be 100. Holds a little bit. Da, da, da. Then you guys, where does that start on? 7? You can be 2, 2, 3. P, make you 80. And then you be, let's make 60. See how his eyes now look a little bit nicer? And his arms are shaking a little bit more? There's more of like a little jitter to the way he's going. Oh. Oh. Can I tell you, I feel that jitter every single day of my life. Damn. Hey, and it's 8:03. Cool. So, it's not the best, but hell, it's something. Now, why not? Let's add some more stuff to it. So I can say, do we want to make it look like, here, let's get that away and get that away. Let's make it look like he's turning a little bit, right? Oh, keep myself from doing that. Let's make it look like he's turning a little bit. So if he comes up, bam, right here, we want all this just come a step in, right? We're on the wrong layer. We want all this, come a step in. Okay. Stop. And we deselect it to make sure we can look at everything. So, I didn't want the entire layer to do that. You're very right. Okay. So let's find where we are again. Stop. These are going to be eye gray, and then these are going to be arms. This is torso or so, and then this is going to be the background. Oh, it's the background. So. Arms, torso, background. Eye gray. I want... Here we are. Hide those arms. On this one alone, torso is going to come in. And on the next one, it'll be back out. What are the arms doing? Yep. And they come back. And they come back. On this one, again, instead of taking that side, we'll take over here. And over here is going to jump in one. Over here jumps in a little bit. But I know it jumps in again. Right? Because the arms are back up. Yep. So we take all this, you go in, he comes back. And why not have everything up here take a little dip down? Let's see how that looks. Yo! Check him out! Look at him go! Oh, get it! Oh, sick. It's so good. See, it was embarrassing before, but then look at him go. Look at him move. Now, I want to have something slightly more added to him also. When his head comes down, just as a little point on his torso. Stop that. Oh, we should make sure. Ooh. Lift yourself, please. There we are. We should make sure that this part of him is out here. So he has a little rounded head. And we can see that he's moved down, but we haven't actually lost any pixels. Like, it's not like his head is just flattened out completely. Now comes the fun part, where we just add effects, really. And I'm gonna shift P that. We're gonna call these effects. Now, what effects are we gonna make? Notes that faded. Crash. That. Like that. And by the way, I'm just going to say, please do ignore the fact that his large claw switches heights. Bam. So we're gonna make a little note there. And then to give the note a nice effect, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to copy this note. 1, 2, and then 3. By this point, it's going to fade out to gray. So to do that, we do a really simple bam, about halfway this. Then we come over to this one, fall all the way out there. So you can barely see it, right? Oh, sick! And then, because we already have that wonderfully rendered 3-note thing, we can just copy those 3 and put it. Oh, damn! I hope it was I hope it was going to give me all 3 of them, just along right here. Please stop. Okay, it's simple enough. We'll just do it again. One by one, bam, bam, and bam. Excuse me, I've just been, don't mind me. I try to do things right and then they turn out wrong. But to make it a little bit better, instead of just mirroring this one, because we're on our own layer, we're gonna put it way over so it's clearly in a different spot. Very clearly in a different spot. Come on. Did I line that one up? Nah, I'm one short and... well, bam! Oh my gosh, I thought we weren't going to be able to do it. Guar said do a dancing lobster, and I made a dancing lobster. Whoo! Man. Talk about coming back to something and getting into form in the weirdest of ways. So, yeah, that was everything. He started out looking mad rough, but we broke him down into a couple of different pieces. And we were able to make him come all the way through to the end. Say goodbye. He even kind of dances to the beat a little bit. Listen to him groove. Let's actually change the... let's change the rock of this guy a little bit to make it more associable with well, actually, yo, check this out, 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 check this out. I want to be copied, and then here, I want right down here. Stop. Well, actually, no, that's fine. Bam, you can do that. And then on this same layer, we can copy. And on this next one, while that's just gone out, we can come all the way down. I think it was there. Yep. And then we can take this as well, and then copy it. And now we have a 1 that carries all the way through. And then we can do the exact same thing over here, except this time we're gonna bring it back when he brings his hands back up, and that connects us all the way back to our first, bam, connects us all the way back to our first, I'm missing the words, frame. Stop. Connect you there. And this here is going to be V there. I don't quite remember where this one was placed. It was right on there. Nice. Sorry. Get the right thing going. Thank you. And then we V that. We bring it right down. All the way down. One over. I want to, oh my god, you can move him to the beat. Hey, bud. Hey, buddy. Hi. Hey, bud. Give me a sec, bud. What's up with you, huh? What's up with you? Hey. Hi. How's you doing? You feel good? Yeah. You better. You hurt my legs a bit. I'll still hold you up here for a bit. Yeah, there you go. I know, I'm not going to be on for too much longer. It's 8:16, but it's also a... And I feel like that, I agree, this torso, we can actually do a couple of times. Like, if he does this one, it's in. Okay, that's too much. That's too little. Come on, where's the first one? Right here. There we go. There we go. Look at him. Look at him dance. Here. Now let's slow him down. 80 can go up to like 120. 60 can come up to 90. 80, 120. 60, 90. 80, 100. Okay, 60, 80. P. 150. 135. 90. 100. P. 100. 110. 100. There we go. There we go. Oh, now it's kind of grooving to the beat too. Sick. Now I do need to fix those eye grays where his head goes down. So that's going to be the next little thing we do. Things like that. Bam. Right here. Instead of you being up there, can erase you. Erase you. Just like, look how much that one single pixel does for his stop expression. Stop. There we go. Comes through, does that. And then, yeah, let's put these down first. 1, 2. 1, stop. 1, 2. E. There we go. I am actually very proud of this little lobster guy. Now, ow. Let's check. Because I don't know how complex it would be to give him, hi bud. I don't know how complex it would be to give him longer tendrils. Because right now he's just got like mush cheeks, you know? He's got the mush cheeks. Also, hold up a second. How did I not notice this? Let's do that. And then they must be on the other side too. Yep. Oh! It's actually a darker one. Okay. The darkest one. Stop. Bam. There we are. Bam. There we are. So we've got our dancing lobster. Mang, look at him. Look at him. If you saw this guy grooving along in a little tank, you'd be one of grooving along. You would want to groove along too. That much I can say, and that much I will pass along to you. Yeah, it's 8:22, and this will be the end of the stream for me. So. We did drop a bunch of frames, but not as many as I was expecting, and that's actually kind of wonderful. I had to bring back in our official ending music here. Yep, he's all good. Now that we use those, they can go in there. And I do just want to say, let's do this the official way. What a stream. Ah, stop it. What a stream that was. We had today, tonight, this evening from an earlier time when it was not even going to happen all the way through to what it did when it was. What a weird phrase. All I mean to say is that this whole talking stream thing is new for me. Very new and very strange. And we tried out a couple of different things. What do we know worked? Just talking off the top of my head, messing with my cat, and thinking about things. Like I mentioned, I'm not good with small talk. In fact, I think I'm very bad with small talk, but give me medium to large size thoughts and we can go off on a lot. I may as well take it that way. Game design, best left to something structured and written out, I feel. Even listening to myself, and I watched these VODs back in the beginning just to try to get everything kind of sorted out. It was a very specific type of talk that didn't really gel well with the rest of what we were transferring from. It was interesting for me, but that's not interesting for everybody. And if you saw the stream, and I'm not actually working on the game myself, just talking about that stuff doesn't seem to be the most interesting outside of Guar, because we had some. Guar's just the best, man. So, art though. I need to brush up on my skills like mad to keep it entertaining and to keep it moving along and like looking good enough so that the end result, when people see it, they'll be like, how did he get there? I want to see that stuff. But you got to admit, that's a come here. Wait, come here. It's a pretty cute guy. It's a pretty cute one. So I'm a fan. But if you watched the VOD, let me know what you thought of the parts. I'm looking for an identity on... That's so weird to say. And now I feel like I'm about to launch right back into the liturgy, the sermon, as what the real Cynthia was insinuating by saying pastor. Ideas of identity. Hey, bud. Are something very interesting to me, especially, and I may get into it later on a different stream when it more or less comes around. But on this site, on this channel, with this pastiche of pixels you see before you, yes, it's me, but it's also me through that camera. We're on camera. We're an identity. And I still need to define mine, and more or less, that's about the people that watch, the people that enjoy, and the people that want to have a voice that gets to intermingle with mine. So, I do want to say, if you're of a mind to comment, to come by, to see, to view the stream, if you like the stream, if you like me, click the like button. If you want to see more, click the subscribe. But anytime you come by, say something, because I am more than willing to, more than happy to, more than able to respond. At least for now. Until I get more of an identity. But, till then, no matter who, no matter where, and no matter how, thank you